Welcome into WagerTalk TV. I am Drew Martin, joined by Robbie Vino and Tony Finn of WagerTalk.com. We're talking college football on Saturday. It's a good one. The world's largest outdoor cocktail party featuring the Georgia Bulldogs and Florida Gators. We are seeing Georgia minus 14 in the hook. That's minus 14 and a half point favorites. 51 being the total here, Robbie. This, of course, in Jacksonville, Florida, 3:30 on CBS. SEC game of the week. You like it anything here between the Bulldogs and the Gators, Robbie?
Well, let's start this one, Drew, just with the quarterback situations, right? It seems to be a topic of discussion every single game with these two teams. Florida's going to play them both, according to Dan Mullen. We'll see Emory Jones. We'll see Anthony Richardson. I don't know that it gives the Georgia Bulldogs anything extra to prepare for. Both of these teams are off of bye week, so I'm sure Georgia's ready for both of these quarterbacks. And on the Georgia side, JT Daniels throwing with a little less pain now, so we don't know if we'll see Stetson Bennett or JT Daniels again. I don't know if that matters very much in the overall scheme of things. Whichever one plays, Georgia's been so good. I think the matchups are the most important things here. Florida this season likes to run the football. The quarterback run is incorporated into the playbook this year. But you're running into a defense that only allows 2.2 per carry. So that ratio, that play calling ratio, Drew, 57% run, 43 pass, might be tested here in this game if Florida finds they can't go anywhere. And I'll say this, the last three teams Georgia has faced all featured dual threat quarterbacks who can run the football, who at times and sometimes the playbook is full of it, but they all have plays incorporated into their play calling scheme for them to run. KJ Jefferson, Bo Nix, Will Levis, all three of those guys are the three quarterbacks Georgia just faced, and neither one of those teams neither of any of those three had success running the football. 75 yards, 46 yards, 51 yards. And, Richardson and Jones are more explosive than those other guys. They certainly are. But I don't know that Florida is going to be able to run the ball here, which means they're going to have to throw it and throw it accurately. The good news for Florida is their quarterbacks have only been sacked 5 times this year. Georgia does have a fierce pass rush, 25 sacks on the season. But like I say, Florida with the mobility behind center hasn't been sacked very much at all. If I flip the coin real quick and we go back to what we just saw last, the Gators defense being absolutely shredded on the ground by LSU, 321 yards, 7.1 per carry versus a team that hadn't run the football at all season until that game against Florida. Georgia leads the nation with 6.8 yards per carry. It's hard to tell if that was a mirage against LSU or if that's Florida when somebody lines up and plays physical bully-style football with them. If that's the case, Georgia's going to run like crazy here against this team. To go with that, Georgia's offensive line has only allowed 4 sacks this season. So they run it well. They protect well. They do everything well. They don't commit turnovers, only 7 turnovers and 447 total plays. What makes that even better is Florida doesn't force any turnovers. They've only forced 6 turnovers all season long. So there's so many things here, Drew, that stack up in favor of the Georgia Bulldogs. They've won every single game, or they have 7 straight wins, which is every single game by 17 points or more. Line here is only 14. Of course, this is probably the best offense they face, but I don't see it. I just don't see it. I know Dan Mullen is a great play caller, and they've got a lot to make up for after that last appearance, which was painfully brutal for them to get beat by LSU the way they did, is 10.5-point chalk. But I don't see them. Nobody's come close to Georgia really so far this year. Kentucky covered a number, but that was a much slower paced game. It enhanced itself to number covering by the dog. This won't be the same. I think Georgia wins. I think Georgia covers.
Sure, Robbie. Good analysis there. And Tony, coming to you next. Robbie brings up the point, Kentucky stayed within the number, but it really wasn't, in doubt towards the end of the game. Georgia's really smashed everybody they've played. And speaking to Robbie's point in terms of the Georgia Bulldogs defense going up against running quarterbacks. I mean, it's just littered with NFL talent on the defensive line, the linebacker position. So that's really not working against this Bulldogs offense. Now you can speak towards, the Gators coming off of a bye and maybe coming something there, trying to steal a possession, something of that nature, a fake punt. And we might see that. But the thing is, Georgia's coming off of a bye too. They're well coached and laying the 14.5. I think this number's short, Tony. Throw it over to you, though. Maybe there's some value on the dog. What are you thinking?
No. There's not enough value on the dog for me to even start looking that way. I think Robbie's spot on. What you just said is accurate. This is a team that's littered with NFL talent, and a lot of it's on the defensive side of the ball. They don't give up any yards running the ball, and I was wrong. Listen, early in the season, I thought when JT Daniels got replaced that this offense might struggle a little bit. The truth is they haven't. Guys, they really haven't. They're still averaging mid-30s in points per game. A lot of those are created by this defense that is, again, littered with NFL talent. First-round talent, 3, I think, probably in the first round alone. A total of, I think they're projecting 9, which is more than last year's 8. This is Kirby Smart at his best, man. If there's one thing he does that a lot of coaches don't do, not only does he recruit well and has he handled the portal well, he's done a really good job. He's done a much better job in game offensively with this team than he has in the past. This Florida team under Mullen would typically, I would say, listen, this is the cocktail party, and you have to trust that Mullen is going to do. Let's use Alabama as an example. He came up with a pretty good plan for Alabama, and they were in that game to the end. But there's no Trask, there's no Pitts. They were better. Florida was better last year when they beat Georgia offensively. They just were better enough that they got, they got the job done. But I can't imagine, and I don't even want to try. I was on Georgia. Kentucky did everything they could. Let's say this. I think you guys wouldn't argue with me that they did everything they could just to kind of support the boosters and those grads of Kentucky to get within that point spread, because what they had to do to score that last touchdown was more than what coaches would normally do in that situation. You would have seen them, pack it up and head to the locker room losing by 24, not 17. So no, I'm with you guys on this. It may be the cocktail party, but this is not a party that the Gators faithful are going to be celebrating once the scoreboard is 0-0.
I like it, Tony. Nothing wrong with that. A coach wanting to stay within the number, backdoor covers. No. They cash tickets as well. Not complaining. I'm sure Kentucky fans aren't either that bet on them. But guys, no, not at all. But guys, hopefully you enjoyed the analysis and enjoy the Georgia and Florida game, the world's largest outdoor cocktail party. For Robbie Vino, Tony Finn, I am Drew Martin. Also remember to check out WagerTalk.com. Guys, Tuesday is a great day to do so. It's $2 Tuesdays. The top handicappers, top play, discounted to just $2. Check it out, WagerTalk.com.